right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
So welcome to NAMI Orange County's Self-Care and Wellbeing 101 for LGBTQIA plus youth and parents. My name is Sylvia. I'm a development coordinator and peer mentor for NAMI OC. I am an LGBT ally and have a background in peer mentorship, suicide prevention, and I have worked with LGBT plus youth and adults at a local hospital. My colleague Aisha is also here and will also be providing you self-care tips.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aisha. My preferred pronouns are she and her. I work as a part of the development team at NAMI OC. I'm currently a grant specialist there, but I also have a background like Sylvia, working in the hospital setting as a peer mentor for individuals with various mental health concerns. I'm bicultural. I'm a member of the LGBTQIA plus community myself. And then just some very quick housekeeping things. If everyone here, before we begin, could secure a writing utensil and a piece of paper, that would be awesome, because we're going to be doing some just really quick, cute exercises throughout our presentation. And also, we're going to have allotted time at the end for questions. So if you would please save any questions you have until then. Lastly, I want to issue a trigger warning. We are going to be discussing themes of depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, self-harm. So if any of that could potentially be triggering for you, feel free. I know we have wonderful counselors in session here. Feel free to reach out to Tony. He is a part of the LGBTOC staff, and he'll navigate you. All right, and then Sylvia, could you click on the presentation one?
Which one?
Oh, the presenter, because right now it's the split screen, I think. Like the presenter view?
Presenter view. Where is that located?
I think it's okay. It's cool. And I think we're on slide 4. Cool. Okay. So NAMI Orange County. Sylvia and I are both from NAMI OC, and that stands for the National Alliance on Mental Illness Orange County. We are a 501c3 nonprofit located in Santa Ana, where we put on various presentations, events, classes, all pertaining to mental health and mental wellness. Also, I apologize in advance if you guys see any of my cats pop around here. So we've been in the community for 40 years. This is our 40th year anniversary, and we are so excited to have the opportunity to continue to serve Orange County. And we're going to get into a little bit more about our programs later on in the slide, but that's a little bit about us.
Okay, so this workshop, so today's self-care and well-being workshop, we're going to cover several different areas of self-care, from learning how to love and accept yourself as LGBT plus individual, to dealing with your mental health, and how parents can support their LGBTQIA plus child. So what exactly does self-care and well-being mean? Self-care means paying attention to your well-being and taking the time to ensure you are taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health. And well-being is defined as the state of being comfortable, healthy, and happy. It's basically a combination of an individual's emotional health, feeling good, and just overall functioning effectively.
Okay, now we're going to get into the meat of the presentation. So, youth support, self-love, and acceptance. How to accept and celebrate yourself as an LGBTQIA plus individual. First and foremost, if you're able to, combat people-pleasing. Reject the notion that you need to become someone you aren't. Whether you have a concrete understanding of your sexuality or gender expression, or you're still figuring it out, sometimes it's a lifelong process of figuring ourselves out, right? It can be difficult to live with the fear of not being accepted for who you are. And that's just a part of the difficult reality, unfortunately. But you're allowed to choose who you want to be and to embrace your most authentic self. So people pleasing, we don't know her. And then also make your own decisions based on your own priorities. So you might find yourself putting other people's priorities above your own. We must remember to set healthy boundaries to those who we choose to keep near and dear to us. Prioritize what you value as an LGBTQIA plus individual, what you're willing to compromise and what you're not willing to compromise, and then set those boundaries. Make them clear and let people know about them.
So another way to accept and celebrate yourself would be to challenge your beliefs about yourself. This could be building your self-awareness. You want to evaluate how you view yourself. Do you view yourself in a positive light? Do you believe you are enough? Many feel forced to align with social and gender norms, and many LGBT plus individuals harbor unconscious limiting beliefs. These beliefs might tell you or tell us that we're not normal, worthy, or smart enough. The next would be identifying negative statements. This could deflate your self-esteem and question your self-worth. So pay attention to self-talk. Brainstorm ideas on how to replace these thoughts. Limit your interactions with those who cause you to feel inferior, and increase your interactions with those who build you up and support you.
All right. And this is kind of what we were touching on earlier. Fluctuations in your identity and expression are completely okay. Sometimes, as members of the LGBTQIA plus community, we will wonder, am I gay? Am I a lesbian? Am I transgender? Am I gender fluid? How do I identify? How don't I identify? And especially in the beginning of our journey towards self-discovery, we can find ourselves confused. It's very common, and honestly, sometimes it's an expected part of our journeys. You can go back and forth while you come to understand your identity, and that's completely okay. No identity is written in stone. You have the freedom to explore yourself freely and without hesitation. You may even choose to identify as simply human, and that's 100% valid. Whatever you choose, that's your decision, and it's okay if it fluctuates. If identifying something concrete is important to you and your growth, but you're still struggling to determine what exactly fits for you, you can shift the question from who am I to what makes me happy. Sometimes getting rid of those big questions like who am I really, and really focusing on, okay, but what makes me happy? What identity makes me happy? What gender expression, what self-expression makes me happy can help us really figure out and discover who we are.
Okay. So the next portion of the workshop, let's do a little building exercise. If you can get out a piece of paper or a journal, whichever works best for you, and let's go over some healthy practices to adopt. Let's start with self-esteem building. So self-esteem building is a great way to adopt healthy practice. It's kind of like one example could be building a strong support system. You want to make sure you are connected with others that empower you, because the people who are the closest with you are the most vital to your happiness and self-esteem. So take a few moments to think about the people in your life who you trust, who you feel safe with, comfortable, and confiding in them, and write it down.
Embrace yourself. Oh, sorry. A few seconds to write that down.
And again, this could be close friends, this could be a family member, a coworker, a classmate, a mentor, support group, a therapist, a hotline, anybody that you can think of that you trust and you can confide in and you feel comfortable with. And the last thing, you want to avoid isolating yourself, because ultimately we need support to help us cope. We're not meant to go through hardships alone.
Okay. A part of this, a part of healthy self-esteem building is recognize your value. Recognize your value as an existing member of Earth. Valuing ourselves is the most loving thing that we can do to build self-esteem. Each and every one of us, each and every one of you possesses indisputable value. Your inherent value has nothing to do with who you are, what you've achieved, how you identify, what you've been through, any socioeconomic status. Your value comes simply from the fact that you are a member of Earth. You're alive, you exist, and therein you have value. I want everyone here to know today that if you are struggling with valuing yourselves, I value you, Sylvia values you, and as you adopt these healthy self-esteem building exercise, we truly hope that you learn to love and value yourself. Practice valuing yourself by seeing yourself fully and honestly, and then choosing to still love and respect yourself. And then also, self-esteem building, get to know yourself again. Evaluate what drives you and makes you happy, what hobbies you might have. So another quick exercise, if you could write 2 or 3 things down that make you happy. It could be anything. It could be watching The Office. I love watching The Office on Netflix. It's one of my favorite pastimes. If it's watching The Office, do that. If it's singing a song, just write 2 things down. I'll give you like 5 seconds to do that. Okay.
All right.
You've identified what makes you happy. You can also start some hobbies. Make a list of things that you enjoy doing in your spare time. Get out of your comfort zone. Try something new. This could be a new sport, music instrument, photography, joining a club, singing, dancing, making TikToks. For all I care, just do something that is fun for you to give your self-esteem a boost.
All right, well said, Aisha. Okay, so the next slide. So we're going to talk about a little bit of the volunteer opportunities that a lot of our local organizations in Orange County offer these opportunities. And, you know, research and look for an organization that you can resonate with or relate to. There are several organizations, as you see here, that offer volunteer opportunities. And, you know, these are just a few to name. So if this is something you have thought about or you're thinking about, take some time to research these organizations or any others in the area that you might feel that you're interested in. Next, create a list of goals. You know, whether your goals are big or small, goals point us in the direction we want to go in. So, you know, it gets us interested and engaged and drives us to reach those goals. Take some time to think about some goals you'd like to reach, and I'll give you a few minutes or a few seconds to write down at least 2 goals or more. You know, this could be personal goals, educational goals, professional goals, relationship goals, or all of the above. It could be mental health goals, anything that you can think of that might better yourself. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to write that down.
Okay, hopefully you guys wrote some fun goals down, and remember, they can be as realistic as you want them to be. My goal for today is cleaning my kitchen. that's a big goal for a Saturday afternoon, but that's my goal. Okay, and now for this next part, I do want to say this is where the trigger warning begins to kick in. This is where we're going to start discussing themes of anti-LGBTQIA plus harassment, depression, anxiety. So please, everyone, take care of yourself. Reach out to Tony if you need assistance. Reach out to the counselor if you need assistance. But you know, this is where the trigger warning begins to apply. All right, so how to manage anti-LGBTQIA plus attitudes, bullying, and harassment. I do want to say that this harassment that we are discussing is going to be verbal in nature. We are not discussing, anything physical. If something physical is happening in your life, please, please, please tell someone. Go to the authorities. You are important, and this shouldn't be happening to you. But the harassment that we're talking about today will be verbal. And I want to say, if you are the victim of harassment, however large or small, I am so sorry. And I know it's an unfortunate part sometimes of identifying as LGBTQIA+. You do not deserve to have any form of ill will directed towards you. So I'm so sorry if that's something you're going through. But we're here to kind of attempt to help you navigate. So if the harassment is verbal in nature and you're not in physical danger, here are kind of things that you can do to help cope, kind of help, take care of yourself and practice a little bit of empathy, even if you're able to. So first off, along with practicing empathy, try to understand that this person who may be saying mean things to you or saying derogatory marks, they're coming from a place of ignorance. This person doesn't understand what it is like living as an LGBTQIA plus individual. Unfortunately, there are some people in the world who just don't understand, and that is no fault of our own. It shows more on them. So if you are able to remind yourself in the moment, this person's just ignorant. They don't understand. Unfortunately, that is what it is. Avoid making threats or inciting any sort of physical attack. So I know for myself, when I get upset, I want to defend myself. I kind of want to bite back a little bit. Avoid doing that because it just adds fuel to the fire. It adds fuel to the flame. And we want to keep you safe, and we want to keep you mentally safe as well, mentally and physically safe. So if you can, just think in your head, okay, this person is not worth my time. They're clearly ignorant. Walk away. Afterward, go to a safe area. If you're at school, a library, main office, or teacher's classroom. If you're out in public, a well-lit area. This could be like a gas station, a storefront, especially if you feel that the harassment is dangerous. Of course, all harassment is dangerous, but if you're really feeling threatened, go to some place populated and safe. And then to protect yourself from future harassment, stay alert. If you're in public, be aware of your surroundings, trust your instincts. When you're walking, if you are able, plan the safest route. If you feel threatened or sense danger, cross the street, change direction, flock to a well-lit or populated area. And when I say this, I am by no mean implying that the harassment that any LGBTQIA plus individual is the responsible of themselves. I'm not saying that this is, their fault. I'm saying, these are just some tips and tricks that you can kind of take in your back pocket to arm yourself, to keep yourself safe. No one deserves harassment. This is never, ever, ever your fault, but we just want to keep you safe and healthy. Flock to a well-lit area. And lastly, surround yourself with a friend or adult that can offer protection. And regardless of anything, talk with someone. If that person's a friend, if you're lucky enough to have that person be a parent, if you have a therapist, these are all amazing people to discuss your harassment incident with. And if it's serious enough, go to the authorities, because your life is valuable and you deserve to feel safe. You deserve to feel happy. You deserve to feel comfortable. So remember all of that.
Okay, so now we're going to dive into navigating anxiety, depression, and dissociation. So anxiety feels different for everyone. It normally hits when you start to feel excessive worry, uneasiness, nervousness. You might also feel restlessness, overwhelmed, have trouble sleeping, experience increased breathing, etc. There's so many different symptoms of anxiety. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms or any forms of symptoms of anxiety, the first thing you want to do is identify your triggers. So identifying your triggers, your anxiety triggers, is an important step in managing them. You want to recognize and pay attention to situations, actions that lead to feelings of anxiety, and why are they triggering? Examples of triggers could be as simple as waiting for a test to begin, to running into a love interest or an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend at the mall, which none of us want to do.
No, do not.
It's unexpected, and your heart's racing, you become frazzled. So, that's a normal feeling to have when those sudden things happen. So how to overcome anxiety triggers? It's a good idea to use a journal to jot down your triggers and write down why they might trigger you. Keep record of when they occurred, include a date. The most important thing is to ask for help and support. Share these triggers with a counselor or therapist that you feel comfortable with to help you overcome them. So now we're going to talk about depression. Feelings of depression are more than just sadness in response to life's struggles. Depression changes how we think, feel, and function on a daily basis. It can interfere with your ability to focus, to study, eat, sleep, enjoy life. Just trying to get through the day can be overwhelming. So let's go over some healthy coping techniques. So one coping technique, work on your emotional awareness. Recognize where your thoughts and emotions are leading you. So once you are aware of your thoughts, words, emotions, and behaviors, it'll be easier to figure out if any of these thoughts need to be redirected. Secondly, you can try therapy. Therapy can help you heal. It can help you cope with your most pressing emotional issues. It's a safe place to share your most vulnerable feelings. And sometimes it takes time to feel or to find or connect with the right therapist. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, you want to put your mental health in the right hands. So it's a good idea to get in contact with your health provider and find out which therapists are in your area. And, don't be afraid to do your own research. Many therapists specialize in different areas. So you want to make sure the therapist you choose specializes in what you're struggling with to get the best results. And, give yourself credit. There's a really good quote that I love, and whoever said it was on point. Always concentrate on how far you've come rather than how far you have left to go. I would recommend even writing that quote down or taking a photo of it. It's a perfect reminder of what to live by, because depression can be draining and rob you of your energy. So be nice to yourself. Give yourself credit for every task you complete. It could be as simple as eating breakfast, lunch, cleaning your room, taking a shower, talking to a friend. Nothing is too small, and ultimately, you are not looking for perfection. You are looking for progress. Okay, so another coping skill, plan and connect. Sometimes depression can cause you to self-isolate. It's important to take some time to stay in touch with your loved ones. We're living during a time of isolation and confinement, especially right now with COVID-19 going on. Try your best to find ways to stay connected. Just a few examples on how to stay connected during COVID would probably be Zoom, Skype, a phone call, FaceTime, a friend or family member, even write a letter or join a virtual support group. You also want to make sure that you're rewarding yourself and treating yourself. So when you reward yourself, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine, which plays a major role in the components of reward-motivated behavior. So making you feel good and happy as a result, you become more compelled to do tasks, particularly on days where you don't even feel like getting out of bed and you feel like giving up. You could reward yourself with watching a movie, buying your favorite meal, playing your favorite video game, doing your nails, doing your makeup, listen to your favorite music, go on a hike, go on a walk your dog. And just remember, we are in this together. You are not alone. If you or someone you know needs support and is having a difficult time, please contact any of these emotional support organizations. I'll give you even a few seconds to take a photo or write them down. But these are all valuable numbers, and they are so extremely helpful in your emotional support.
Okay, now we are going to talk about something that isn't often discussed along a person's mental health journey. And this is because it's a little bit more nuanced and it's a little bit harder to kind of put your finger on. It is dissociation, not disassociation, but dissociation. So what is dissociation? Dissociation is the mental process of disconnecting from one's thoughts, feelings, memory, or sense of identity. In layman's terms, it's mentally checking out from your surroundings. Okay, so kind of to set the tone, imagine this. You're driving home from work or from school after a super stressful day, and suddenly, after you're driving, you find yourself pulling into your driveway, and you think, how did I even get here? How did I even drive myself home safely? That actually is a very light form of dissociation. You may not even remember the drive, but you somehow got home. So many people struggle with dissociation. It's very common. And it's also common amongst some of us who live with gender dysphoria. So that's why we're going to be discussing it today. As with anxiety and depression, identify your dissociation triggers. These triggers could be large or small. They could be something from a song to witnessing, an uncomfortable event to even eating a certain amount of food. Everyone has different triggers for dissociation. If you're able to get to know yours, and if you have a therapist, you can discuss it with them and help to identify those triggers. Alongside that, try to understand what you're feeling and why. A great tool is, throughout the day, if you find for a period of time you notice that you are dissociating, just write down the different activities that you did that day and kind of compare it to another day and see if you can find that one key trigger that may be prompting your dissociation. However, let's say, triggered or not, you find yourself dissociating. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. I myself am familiar with it. It's really very strange. So what can you do? There are some grounding techniques, and these are kind of fun. And everyone, these work differently for everyone, but let's go through them a little bit together. So first is the 5 game. It's super simple and it's super fun when you are really in need of grounding yourself right here, right now. So what you do, you hold up your hand 5, and then you pick a color. Any color, it can be your favorite color. Let's say red. Then you go around the room and you find any 5 red things. As you say it, you say, oh, okay, that's red, boom, that's red, boom, that's red, boom. And then you go down, and then you put your hand 5 up again. You pick another color. And as you do this, what you're doing is you're telling yourself, I am in the here, I am in the now, and I am safe. I know my surroundings, and I can see them, and I can identify them. So that's really a helpful way that you can kind of root yourself back. Another thing you can do, let's say your dissociation, you tried the 5 game, it's not working. You can go and you can grab an ice cube. Grab an ice cube and hold it in each hand and feel the cooling sensation. Feel the chill, even feel it kind of melt in your hands. That kind of can help jolt you back into your body, so to speak. That can kind of help bring you back down to, the root of yourself. So 5 game, ice cube. This one is a hit or a miss for some people. It really depends on you, but you can try looking in the mirror. You can look in the mirror and you can, see yourself, make a few funny faces, try to get yourself to laugh, stretch your imagination of the silly faces or the silly things that you can do, just to remind yourself, that is me, I'm in my body, and I am safe. Lastly, something that is very common that I do all the time in my life, I play Candy Crush or I get on TikTok. Those two things, let me tell you, if you need to get your brain out of that very uncomfortable cycle, whether it's dissociation or anxiety, really, whip out an app. We are so fortunate to have our phones with us most of the time. Take out your phone, play a game. It can help kind of distract your brain from how you're feeling. And the next thing you know, you're back in reality, you're back feeling safe, and you're back in your body. Okay. Now we're going to pivot from youth support to parent support. So the youth in the audience, just so you know, if you have a parent around, this is going to be more for them. Parents, if you have your youth around, just know it's going to be more for you. So let's talk about supporting your LGBTQIA plus child. Let's say your child just came out to you. You are the proud parent of an LGBTQIA plus individual. Congratulations. That's amazing. Because you know what that means? That means your child trusts you. That means that your child has invited you into the deepest, most intimate part of who they are. It's scary coming out, and your child has entrusted that information with you, and that proves that they want a strong bond. So amazing. But now, how do you support them? So first, let's talk about stuff that maybe isn't very well discussed. And again, trigger warning. I want to make this very clear. These are very common things, but they just aren't really talked about. So first, you're coming to terms with your lovely LGBTQIA plus child. A part of this may mean letting go dreams or thoughts that you once held about your child's life and what you envisioned it to be. That's okay. That's a part of the process. It is completely okay. Just understand that you will eventually land in a place where you don't care about what you thought before, because you know what? You see your kid and you love your kid and you want them to live a life that's full and happy, full of love, full of joy. Another thing, you may be confronted with your own internalized stigma of LGBTQIA plus individuals and gender stereotypes. This is a kind of sticky situation, but it's also very normal. Suddenly something that existed outside is now, inside, and it's someone that you love so deeply and you care so much about. The stuff that you're thinking may, it may upset you. It's okay. It's a part of the process. All of you parents are in the audience for a reason, and I applaud that. You're all here because you want to support your amazing, beautiful, valued child. I guarantee that your LGBTQIA plus child appreciates it too. Understand that preconceived notions are just that, preconceived notions, and work with your child along the way, but remember, supporting them comes first. You will unlearn the years and years and years of stigma that you may have heard. And really supporting your child is the number one most important thing. So the do's and don'ts of supporting your child. First, the big do, thank your child for sharing. Thank them for trusting you with such amazing information, and thank them for inviting you into their life. That's a very, very high honor. Show support and ask how to support them. Everyone accepts support differently and everyone needs support differently. So have that conversation. And for the LGBTQIA plus youth in the audience, parents aren't always mind readers, unfortunately, even though we wish that they were. But, let them know how they can best support you, because you deserve to be supported in the way that you feel best. And then here's going to be another fun exercise. So for the parents in the audience, I think we should do a little engagement on LGBTQIA plus terminology, because this is a major part of supporting your kid. So let's start with what LGBTQIA plus stands for. So the parents in the audience, if you could please use the chat and tell me, what does the Q stand for in LGBTQIA plus? Youth, kids, don't tell your parents, but go ahead and in the chat, put in, what does the Q stand for? Okay, I'm seeing queer. You're correct. Yes, so I'm happy that someone put queer or questioning. So actually, it is kind of debated whether it's queer or questioning, but as of right now, it's most commonly used as queer. So really quickly, let's do another one. Let's do another quick one. The A. What does the A stand for? Oh, Elizabeth, that's a really great question. Is queer PC? So you know what? I am not the authority on this. I'm sure that you could reach out to LGBTOC and they would be able to give you more information. I can only give you my perspective. Queer has been for many, many years a derogatory term that's been used to kind of dehumanize the LGBTQIA plus population. But at this time, it's been reclaimed. And so people within the community will have a valid identity that is queer. And that just means that they are not typically cisgendered, heterosexual. But that's just my kind of blanketed understanding. If you have more questions, I'm sure I could direct you to Tony, who would happily let you know. And then, okay, asexual. Yes, it is asexual. A lot of people sometimes will think that it stands for ally. And I think this is an important thing to clear up. LGBTQIA plus stands for lesbian, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual. The A, even though we would love for allies to be included in the acronym, allies places is to stand beside us, not in our community necessarily. Again, that's just my thing, and Tony would be able to speak much, much better on it. But great job, you guys. You said asexual. Okie doke. Let me try to close the chat. Okay. So you learned about LGBTQIA plus terminology. You're continuing to learn about that. You're thanking your child for sharing. You're showing them support. Lastly, find support for yourself. This is a unique journey for you too. This is a fun and interesting and exciting journey where you get to learn more about yourself and your child. And there are resources that are available to you. Please take a second and you can write down those two, pflag.org and familyequality.org. Also reach out to the LGBTOC Center because you deserve support as well. And lastly, of course, something that is so important, respect your child's confidentiality. Your kid or your loved one, really anyone, has come to you and entrusted you with this very valuable information. I know it might seem like you just want to call, your mom or your sister or your brother, you want to call your best friend and say, oh my God, but maybe your child isn't ready for that just yet. And, take a moment and just revel in the fact that they said something huge to you and respect their confidentiality. Okay. Now we're going to get into the don'ts. So, don't shame your child. Don't, I understand sometimes it is a little bit shocking to hear, but there's never a place, there's never a time, it's never okay to shame your kid, because at the end of the day, you love your child. So don't shame them. Also, don't ignore what they said to you. Don't brush it off as just a phase. and going in line with respect their confidentiality. Don't share your child's identity or gender expression with others without their permission. But none of you all here would do this stuff, right? Okay. And a few ideas on how to support your child. And this, of course, is going to be different. Have a conversation with your kid and see what best works for them. These are just some of our ideas we're sprinkling out to you. So create a judgment-free home. This just means out there in the world, there's so much judgment that exists. Make their home a safe space where they can wear what they want. They can, they have the freedom to be themselves authentically. Use their preferred pronouns. This is something that is huge. And I understand for a lot of parents, for a lot of loved ones, the switching of pronouns may feel, it may feel new. And that's okay. But at the end of the day, that's your child. They deserve to have their pronouns respected. Use their preferred pronouns. Allow them to dress how they feel appropriate. This goes in with creating a judgment-free home, and constantly remind them of their value, remind them of how much you love them, how much you respect them, and how much you are so just impressed with their bravery for living and choosing to live their truest, authentic self. Okay, so we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about what NAMI is and what NAMI offers and what we don't offer. NAMI is based on peer support. So what is peer support? Sylvia, I'll speed it up. I know we're running out of time. NAMI is based on peer support. So peer support is non-clinical based intervention. So we don't offer therapy or anything like that. Everyone comes from a place of lived experience. Okay. And these are just a few of the programs that we offer. Take a second. You can take a picture of it. I want to make sure we have at least a little bit of time for questions. Here are some more programs that we offer. If you have any questions, you can always call our NAMI line. You can call our admin line, which will have the information up for you on a different slide.
And then really quick, I just want to talk about something that's extremely exciting for NAMI, and because Loud and Proud is our first music and art festival, and it's dedicated to the LGBTQIA plus youth and mental health. We're doing a few collaborations with our friends and partners over at the LGBTQ Center OC and Be It Rainbow OC, so I just want to give a shout out to them. Originally Loud and Proud was scheduled for June, but because of the pandemic, we're working on figuring out a new date. So it's coming, so be on the lookout. You can always visit our website, follow us on social media, or sign up for our email newsletters if you want to stay updated. Also, if you have any questions about our programs, you can visit our website, email, or give us a call. That pretty much wraps up our workshop. So, I want to thank you, Tobias, and everyone at the LGBTQ Center OC for giving us this platform to speak on, and all of you for participating and joining us. We're going to start taking some questions, if any, and, go ahead and write your questions in the chat, and we'll try our best to answer all of them.
Yes. Any questions? Oh, I'm seeing a few people asking for the slides. If you feel comfortable, you can either private chat Sylvia or I, or you can put it in the chat, your email, and then we can see if we can send you over a copy.
You can also, let me get back to this other slide. You can also email the info@namioc.org, and they can forward that information to me if you have any questions. about the slide or about Loud and Proud or anything that we talked about today.
Awesome.
Hi, can I make a quick comment? This is Tony. So thank you all for being in the workshop. I'm staff at the center, and it's really important if we can all get you to sign to complete an evaluation. If you look in the chat, there is some message from room monitor Riley Murphy, and there's a quick link to the evaluation. So if you can please fill it out, it would mean so much to us, to the center, to the presenters, and to the convening as a whole. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm getting some, do you mind sharing? Okay, yes. Okay, I will try my best to get everybody's information, and if not, go ahead and email the info@namioc.org. And Aisha, do you have anything else that you want to add?
No, I see some people sending me over their emails, and I want you to know that I have them saved. So we'll be in contact with you. Thank you guys so much for coming. And thank you for, you probably heard my cats in the background. I apologize for that, but thank you so much. And we hope it was beneficial to you.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, Dorothy, I see that you messaged me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in the chat my email. Anyone who needs to contact me can go ahead and email .org. If anyone wants to start a private conversation, feel free to jot down my email and we can be in contact.
Also, I want to quickly say I'm going up the chat and I see Amanda. Thank you so much for sharing that other crisis resource for trans folks. That's something that we didn't include in our slide, but thank you so much for mentioning that. Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for the amazing feedback. It means a lot.
Thank you, Tracy.
Well, Sylvia and I are going to be here for a few more minutes. If anyone has any other questions, we're happy to stay. Other than that, I know it's 11:12 now. We don't want to keep you late for your other, presentations that you want to get to. So my information's there. If you would like to start any line of communication, feel free. And then also there's the info@namioc.org that you can email as well. Thank you. Amanda. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, everyone.